Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Colwyn, and I'm here to do a Dark Shadows video. Actually, I'm going to do two tonight. So, this Dark Shadows video is about the parallel time ending, the 1840 parallel time ending. Now, to give a reminder, Barnabas had, Julian Barnabas specifically, had traveled back to 1840 to find out why Gerard Stiles' ghost was haunting 1970. So they went back to the normal 1840. Well, during that course, as the story was wrapping up, Barnabas had discovered a parallel time room, much like Barnabas had discovered a parallel time for 1970. So there was an 1840 parallel time. Now, here's something people may not have noticed, and I was thinking about this. The 1840 parallel time room, it sort of lines up with the 1970 parallel time room, because if you guys remember, Willie Loomis in the 1970 parallel time room was married to Carolyn. He was a writer. He wrote a book called The Life and Death of Barnabas Collins. Now, in that parallel time, Barnabas had a son, did marry Josette, and had a son named Bramwell. Well, if you flash forward from 19, from 17, from what 1795 to when a child would be old enough to be adult, it would be 1840. Okay, so when Barnabas reads that book, okay, his son Bramwell is mentioned. So when you see Bramwell in 1840, that's the Bramwell William, I think what it was, Headshot Loomis. I know it's Willie Loomis, but that he had wrote about in his book. So the 1840 parallel time, really, all it is the events of Bramwell, the events that you really don't, in a sense, get to hear about in a full way out of Willie's book, because you only hear Bramwell briefly. It's not like 1840 is about Barnabas, but 1840 is a follow-up to the other Barnabas that was being mentioned in that book. Because while, remember, the Barnabas Collins that came from 1970 to the parallel time 1970, that was our Barnabas. Their Barnabas in 1970 had died. So the Barnabas in that other parallel time, he never got cursed. He never became a vampire. Therefore, when you see the 1840 timeline, the parallel time, really, they're just talking about Bramwell, and to me, the vampire marks on the neck are a hook and ladder. They're trying to play fake you into thinking, oh, we may have been wrong. No, they're just messing with you, really. And really, it's not even like, if you pay enough attention toward, and again, Dark Shadows is so long. Listen, I have the coffin box that I've went through this thing 5 fucking times. Pardon the language, but to me, all that is they're trying to confuse you a little bit But that's what the 1840 parallel time is to me. It's a tale of Barnabas' son Bramwell. And really, Bramwell, in many ways, outside of not going to prison, that's the only difference. He was sort of like Burke Devlin. He wasn't rich. He went away poor. He wanted to earn he was going to travel the world and make his fortune. And he did travel the world and make his fortune. He did come home rich. It's almost Burke Devlin in a sense. The only difference is Burke Devlin went to prison for a crime he didn't commit, and he didn't travel the world till he got out of prison. So again, the prison factor is the only real big difference. That and Burke wasn't a Collins. Okay, there's two. So there's two big differences. My bad. But yeah, there are two big differences. Now, do I like the 1840 parallel time? Yeah, for what it is. I mean, look, Bramwell's introduced, and again, you only hear about Bramwell prior to this in Williams' book, and it's very brief. It's not like you get to hear that whole life of what it was. So they decide to show you that life, what that life was in the 1840 parallel time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the 1840 parallel time. I found it somewhat interesting. Do I feel it is the most important thing? No, not necessarily. But I do feel it's a very interesting piece to go and look at. Hope you guys give me your thoughts about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.